Indonesia to build multilayers air defense system to protect new capital city. Commander of the Indonesian Armed Forces, TNI, Marshal Hadi Tjajanto said military forces in the defense system in the new Indonesian capital must be able to anticipate threats of cybercrime to chemical weapons attacks. Protection measures for air and missile attacks must also be built into the defense system in the new capital. According to him, the concept of defense in the new Indonesian capital must be carefully prepared. The goal is clear: to anticipate martial law situations. A military force capable of dealing with all forms of threats. Building defense systems to prevent missile attacks, enemy aircraft, rockets, cyber sabotage infiltrators, as well as chemical and biological radioactive and nuclear threats, Hadi said at a working meeting with the House of Representatives Commission I in Parliament Complex, Senayan, Jakarta on Wednesday, 6/11. He stated that the development of the defense system in the national capital was an absolute matter. A number of things must also be a concern in the field of defense, such as the application of the Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIS, as well as restricted and prohibited areas or restricted and restricted areas in accordance with Government Regulation No. 4 of 2018 concerning safeguarding the Republic of Indonesia's airspace. Not to be left behind, said Hadi, the new capital must also have a close path for mobilizing military forces in preparation for contingency plans and evacuation routes for important people or state guests. Having an approach path in the mobilization of military power in both air and sea aspects, he said. Hadi said that in the context of relocating TNI personnel to the planned new capital in East Kalimantan province, the concept of placing TNI units and other military bases was in Penajam Pasir Utara. According to him, the Presidential Palace, MPR/DPR/DPD building, ministries or state institutions will also be built, as well as embassies from a number of countries. Since 2014, Indonesia has developed homegrown air defense system. War in the modern era is no longer facing each other. But it involves sophisticated weaponry, including missiles. One shot, the lives of thousands of people in the target position, hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, would be threatened. Therefore, an antidote missile as an alternative defense system, is a must-have. At present, the Indonesian Air Force, the National Aeronautics and Space Agency, LAPAN, and PT Dahana, are developing mid-range air attack deterrence, PSU, missiles. Anti-missile weapons will be developed from rockets that have been successfully made by LAPAN. LAPAN has successfully launched several types of rockets such as the RX-420, which has a range of more than 100 kilometers. LAPAN is also developing a more than 200 kilometers range rocket, the RX-550. Yes, from the development of the previous LAPAN rocket. They have succeeded, the launch has been straight. Only the contents, the booster is still being developed, said Air Force head of the 1st Air Marshal, Marsma, Hadi Tjajanto when contacted, Jakarta, Tuesday, February 25, 2014. Hadi added, at this time the problem for air defending missiles occurred in the propellant. It is planned that in the next few years this propellant can be repaired and tested again. In the next 2 or 3 years, the contents or propellants have been found, another trial will be made. If it is good, it will be offered to BUMN or BUMNIS, state-owned strategic industrial enterprises, added the mustachioed man. Is this development for medium or long-range missiles? Later, if the propellant has been tested, the contents will only be made at a medium or long distance. If the name of the missile has just become new from the BUMN with the Ministry of Defense, who will give the name of the missile, said Hadi. At present the Air Force only has active air defense system or PSU from short-haul classes such as Erlikon, Stars Trek, VL Mica, and others. Air Force Chief of Staff, Air Marshal Ida Bagus Putudunya said that at this time his party was exploring PSU for medium distance. This plan will be drawn up in the 2nd Renders Minimum Essential Force, MEF, 2015 to 2019. For 10 to 100 kilometers, medium distance control is needed, Now we are processing it. Hopefully it will soon complete our defense system, Puto said when receiving 16 T-50I aircraft from Korea Aerospace Industry, KAI, at Halim Perdikosuma Air Force Base, Jakarta East, Thursday, February 13, 2014. Indonesian Armed Forces and University of Ahmad Dahlan develops air defense missile systems since 2018. The mastery of technology, the main tool of weapon systems, defense equipment, that is able to ward off all threats and enemy attacks is an absolute necessity that must be owned by a country. Missile or guided missile as one of the powerful defense equipment to incapacitate flying targets is a vital weapon that needs to be controlled and owned by the Indonesian people. Starting in the 2018 budget year, the Indonesian Armed Forces of the Indonesian Army, TNIAD, began cooperation with the Center for Integrated Research and Innovation, CERNO, Research Center at Ahmad Dahlan University, UAD. The cooperation in terms of making and developing 70 caliber missiles that can hit targets such as planes, drones, and the like with high speed. Head of CERNO UAD, Professor Haryadi explained that the manufacture of missiles that can pursue targets in the air had been carried out starting in 2016 and had been successfully piloted every year for improvement. This development has received support from PT Bandad, as well as from the Lapan Pustek Bank for aerodynamic and telemetry tests as an implementation of the existing cooperation agreement. The local product missile firing test is a 70 caliber high-speed missile that was first made by Indonesian children, bearing in mind that up to now many firefighting tests have been carried out for domestic ballistic rockets that do not pursue targets, said Haryadi. The missile being made by the Indonesian Army Dislitbang is an anti-aircraft type missile with a short range to a range of 4,000 meters with target shooting technology without having to guide it, fire and forget. This missile is a class of anti-aircraft pelvic missile made in Russia, Strela, USA, Stinger, and China, QW. The technology used by this missile enables the seeker portion, locker, to lock targets that have been targeted accurately using infrared beam detection. Then along with the control subsystem will maneuver the movement to achieve the target. For this reason, mastery of optical physics and materials is necessary to be able to master this type of technology seeker. The missile control system that moves very fast beyond the speed of sound in chasing fighter aircraft is not easy to make given there are many things that must be mastered, he said. Haryadi added, things that must be mastered such as the stability aspect of the missile while flying in extreme conditions, great air pressure, the weight of the missile that changes with the burning of the booster rocket material, as well as the seeker's response that must be fast. Therefore we need a mastery of technology that is very different from the control technology in robots that move relatively slowly as has been commonly seen in many robot contests. As one of the stages of the missile manufacturing process, the characteristics of rocket propellant material testing has been carried out in the shooting field, Dislitbang Laboratory of the Indonesian Army, Batu Jajar, Bandung, West Java on July 20, 2018. This test is very important to be able to determine the performance of missile booster rockets adjusted to the control system in which there are part seeker, fins, stabilizers, and others. The test activities were attended by the Army research and development officials namely Kasub Disiptek, Colonel CBA Herman Tug, Lab Head, Colonel Corporal Simon PK, Kabajitek, Lieutenant Colonel INFEDI Sujarwako, Kasub Lab Test, Lieutenant Colonel Chi Cherul Harahap, Kabajitek, Lieutenant Colonel INFEDI Sujarwako, Kasub Lab Test, Lieutenant Colonel Chi Cherul Harahap, Kasub Lab Engineering, Lieutenant Colonel CHB Sukamto, a team from the Army Military Polytechnic of the Army AD and a consultant team from the UAD CERNO chaired by Professor Haryadi. The testing activity using the lab facilities in Batu Jajar is a development concept instructed by the head of the Indonesian Army Research and Development Agency Brigadier General D. Doetoyo, SE, MM as one of the spearheads in the development of defense and security research. By optimizing and developing the existing labs, various technological products, especially defense equipment needed by the TNI as a defense and security force, will be obtained. Going forward, the Indonesian Army Research and Development Agency and Sernov UAD already have big plans for research development to the production of 70 caliber missiles as conveyed by IR Triyono Priyohutomo, MT, Project Manager, and IR Supardi, Engineer, from the UAD Sernov consultant team. It is expected that with this strategic research which has succeeded in firing tests, the next few years the Indonesian Army Research and Development will be able to make and produce anti-air missiles that are easy to operate, relatively inexpensive, anti-embargo, according to the TNI posture, which will be able to strengthen the defense system to improve the quality of defense equipment high technology made in